In February this year, I jumped on a plane and flew into Stansted before hopping in a car and driving to a wet, windy, snow-covered Ipswich to try something for the very first time.
I'm over here for a little break, and there's something I always said I wanted to try before I got to 40. Well, there's still 8 years to go. Botox. What's it all about? How does it work? Does it hurt? What's it going to do to me? And who's going to be doing it? Well, Dr. Rachel Tallent has been a friend of mine for many years, and fortunately, I now have a friend who does Botox. So let's go and check it out. Dr. Rachel Tallent. Rachel, thank you for inviting me here today.
That's quite all right. It's my pleasure.
I was a little nervous about the whole thing, but Rachel put my mind at ease and answered all my questions.
Rachel, how long have you been a doctor for?
So I've been a doctor for 10 years. I'm a GP by background, and I've been doing aesthetics for 5 years.
How would you describe what you do now?
I call myself an aesthetic doctor, but some people call it an aesthetic clinic or a cosmetic clinic.
And with anything like this, it's important to have somebody with a qualified background. We hear all sorts of nightmare stories. What kind of training did you have to go through to be able to do this?
Obviously, I'm a GP by background, so I had that medical qualification. But then I've been on lots of training courses, often through the products that I use, to get more and more experience.
Does Botox hurt?
You use tiny little needles when you give Botox. So it stings a little bit, but most people don't find it painful.
How do you decide what needs to be done?
I ask them what they would like to have done or what bothers them about their face, and then I advise them on what I would suggest that they should have done and try and meet somewhere in the middle.
Well, we'll get some before and after shots in a few minutes' time, but have you decided what you're going to treat me with?
So I think today we're going to do some Botox on you. I think your main area of concern is your forehead, which I would agree with. You've got some lines that are starting to form there. So we'll treat those with the Botox, and hopefully they will soften and stop them from getting worse.
But this isn't just for people who are already wrinkly, is it?
No, absolutely not. Botox can be used as a preventative treatment. So it stops the nerves from acting on the muscles, so it stops you from actually making that movement and therefore making the line in the first place.
Now, there are all sorts of myths about Botox. My friends have been saying that when I return home, I won't be able to move my face. Is that true?
No, you can tailor the Botox to how people want it. Some people like that frozen look, but other people prefer a much more natural look. And if you want to keep some movement, then I can do that for you.
Once it was the territory of the rich and famous, but it's now available to normal people. How much money does Botox cost?
Well, that depends on the practitioner and where you go to have it done. So for my service, I charge £200 for one area, £250 for 2 areas, and £300 for 3 areas.
And how long can we expect to see results last for?
So it depends on the person, but normally Botox lasts between 3 to 6 months.
Shall we give it a go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we could start the procedure, Dr. Rachel took me through the legal paperwork. It is so important with anything like this that the person treating you has the right qualifications and experience. With everything signed, sealed, and stored away, it was time to jump into the hot seat.
What are we going to be doing? Show me where you're going to be working.
If you can just raise your eyebrows for me. So when you do that, you can see where your lines form. So I'm going to be injecting a few spots into there to stop that movement, basically.
As Rachel prepared the injections, I was starting to feel quite nervous. The fear of the unknown, I guess, but exciting at the same time. The clinic is quite a relaxing place to be. Dr. Rachel is very gentle, really easy to be around. But you know when a doctor says, you won't feel a thing? You probably will. But actually, as the injection started, I really didn't. I thought there might be some pain, but really there isn't. Nothing more than just a tiny little scratch. As the liquid entered my skin, I could feel quite an odd sensation, but it's unusual, not disturbing at all. You can see here how tiny the needle is and that only a small amount of Botox is injected each time. Here you can see a tiny bit of blood, and that is normal. And now if you look, you can see small little bumps appearing under my skin where the Botox is settling. I asked Dr. Rachel how long I'd be looking like a plague victim for.
It will last about 10-15 minutes.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. It's just the fluid under the skin, and then it will just absorb in.
And how long will it be until I start to see effects, and what do you think I should notice?
It will take a few days before you start to notice some difference, and then the full effect will be at 2 weeks. And what you'll notice is you just can't really make the movements anymore. It feels a bit strange, almost a little bit numb.
But I think you've done a fantastic job, and it didn't hurt at all.
Good.
And I don't know why I was so nervous before I came in.
Absolutely.
But thank you.
Not that bad.
The whole thing only took about 15 minutes. It was so easy, a great experience. Dr. Rachel advised me not to lay down for about 4 hours afterwards and not to drink alcohol for a few hours as well. At this point, I didn't really feel any different, perhaps slightly numb in parts of my forehead, but nothing unpleasant at all.
So now that's finished, we'll take some more pictures in a couple of days so we can compare the before and the after. Thank you so much,
Thank
Rachel.
you. Not a problem.
Over the next couple of days, I didn't experience any side effects at all. This picture was taken 3 days after the Botox, and here, I'm actually raising my eyebrows. And in this one, I'm frowning. But over the next week or so, it softened and I regained a little movement from the eyebrows.
So 2 months later, I'm back on the sunny coast at El Sol. The Botox has settled down, I'm now completely used to it, and it feels completely natural. If you come in a little bit closer, we'll show you. If I raise my eyebrows now as far as they'll go, that's all the movement I've got upwards. And for a frown, that's as much as I can scowl at you. I love it, it's been good for my self-confidence, it's something I really would recommend. If you're curious about it, give it a go. It lasts for maybe 4 or 5 months, as Dr. Rachel said earlier. When it wears off, have it topped up, or leave it if you like. I certainly think I will be going back for more.